Good morning, Dr. Weimar. I hope you're doing well. I hope Trayson sent you his loot from the claw game. He was proud of that. Um, Writing obviously is hard. I read your email, and there's so many things that I want to say. It's very cool, but it's so much easier for me to kind of give a description than you can kind of rebuttal or kind of give it some thought and let me know. So let me define some of the things on here from my understanding, and a lot of this is pulled from you and Madsen's class. Okay, so I'm doing something a little non-conventional. I'm running two different scenarios at the same time, and I'm trying to demarcate them with thicker, smaller lines and letters and numbers. So it's almost like they're overlapping. So they're two separate graphs with two separate things, but I'm blending them in so that we can see them all together in real time. Tug of war, I am pulling in the positive. Trayson's going to be pulling in the negative. Trayson's going to have the number dots when we go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and I'm going to have the letters of velocity in the X, and we're also looking at it from the perspective of the flag. So flag is speeding up, going to me, slowing down, going to me, speeding up. Okay. Also, I thought it was important that we define what winning is. So and I think that's where some of the confusion and overlap comes too. There's two different definitions of winning. We can have like game winning, where the movement of the flag matters. So if the flag is moving to the positive, I'm winning. I didn't say I won, but I'm winning. If the flag is coming to me, I'm winning. Even if it's slowing down, if it's still coming to me, it's in the process of getting over the finish line. So like imagine a runner is slowing down, but as long as they're making progress to the finish line, they're on the verge of completing. And then we have the muscle definition, where the muscle definition is which puller, me or Trayson, is doing more than the other, which one of us is accelerating it by being greater. So even though I may let Trayson be greater, he's still greater. And then I may be greater. So the muscle winning is just a term for which pull is going to be greater, even though the motion may be away from us. For your centrifugal contraction, that is just happening here. I'm just going to be straightforward. So F to G, and there's a lot more going on. Sorry, sometimes when a lot of thoughts get in my head at once, I got a deep breath and start from the beginning. The earth cooled dinosaurs. So the overlap is what I'm trying to get to. So let's say we have isometric tie, right? I'm pretending, I mean, I could yank trace and bless its heart, but I'm just because I'm bigger. So I'm just going to tie, right? I'm going to choose to tie. So from a game perspective, tie because the flag isn't moving, and from a muscle perspective, there's a tie because no force of the muscles are greater. So tie and tie. Game tie, muscle tie. However, when we diverge from that isometric or from that tie, I can choose to be greater than Trayson from A to B. So this is the first scenario that's overlap. I can choose to be greater. And what's going to happen is I'm going to win two different ways. I'm going to have game win because the flag's going to start coming to me. And I'm going to have muscle win because my force is going to be greater than his force. If I keep it at the same speed, if I keep it coming at the same speed, well, I'm still going to have game win, but now I'm going to have muscle tie. And then if I start to let him win, right? So I'm coming, I don't want to cross the finish line. So I'm going to let him slow me down, but I'm still moving in my direction of win. So game-wise, I'm still winning because it's coming to me. But muscle-wise, I start to lose. I'm choosing to lose. I'm going to continue to choose to lose as he changes my direction. He continues to win in the muscle wise, but now he starts to win in the game wise. It's a win-win. It's game win and muscle win. He's going to be greater. If we tie, he's going to the constant velocity. Game, he's winning, but muscle wise, we're tying. So there's a win and a tie. I think that's why it's important to define which one is happening. And then finally, here's the centrifugal contraction in your email, in my opinion, just what I see. When I choose, all right, I'm going to start pulling more. I'm going to slow down the flag away from me. So the flag's still moving to him. So game-wise, he's still winning. Or I'm still losing. Two different forms of the same thing. But muscle-wise, I'm winning. So it's like a win-win. Game goes first in muscle. A win-win. A win-tie. A win-lose. A lose-lose. It's just from my perspective. A tie-lose. And then a lose-win. And this particular point from F to G would be specifically the centrifugal. So what's tough is that this is all concentric contraction. But there's phases into this. And so to tie it all up in a bow and say concentrics is, it's too broad. There's concentric when you're greater, concentric when you're tying, concentric when you're less. What are those called? I like the word for this one for the centrifugal, but that doesn't apply to A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F to G. That's what makes sense to me. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. So looking at tracing goes from 1 to 2, so we're tying, right? Isometric, so it's a tie, game tie, and a muscle tie. Well, instead of choosing to win, I'm going to let him win. I think my issue with letting him win, letting him be greater, the essence of my thought when we had this discussion was game winning. Like, so not necessarily muscle winning, which I think the conversation at the restaurant led to. It was game winning. I'm letting him win the game, but yet I'm still playing the game. I'm still tugging, trying to make the flag come to my side. So from Traysen's perspective, Traysen is going to be having a win-win right here. Traysen is going to be having a win-tie right here. And Traysen is going to be having a win-lose right here because this is win. Right, so speeding up away, constant velocity going away, slowing down going away. Speeding up coming to me. And make sure I get this right. Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have done this because this makes it seem like it's in the same time frame. So the thought was there, but the application was very poor. So what I need to do is I need to erase. I should have done these one at a time. So I'm going to erase mine because obviously we can't both win and lose at the same time. Get it? Oh, good. Oh, good. So let me get mine out of the way and we'll just look at traces. Okay. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So tie, isometric tie. There's no game tie, muscle tie. Traysen starts to win. Speeding up in the negative. Trayson has game win, he has muscle win. His is greater than mine because I'm letting him, but it's still greater. Trayson is winning and tying because of me. I'm in control. I could choose to not do that, but I'm going to choose to do it. So game win, muscle tie. Here is game win, muscle lose, because it's still going towards the winning side, but it's slowing down because of me. I have to be greater. Change the direction. Game lose, muscle lose, because now I'm speeding it up in the positive, right? So I have to be greater than him and I'm creating more force. For Trayson, it's lose tie, and for Trayson, it's lose lose. Oh, sorry. I just came up with this. So this would be lose win for Trayson because I'm going to let off, right? So I'm going to let off and let him slow it down while it's still moving away from him. So obviously, I think this could be tightened up, but I think the point, hopefully, is valid. That are we talking about the nature of the game with the flag? Are we talking about the who's greater than who? Um, and so for Trayson, negative accelerations are going to be when he is greater, but yet he can still be losing the game even though his muscles are greater. And I think that's where some of the confusion is. So within the graph of speeding up, going up, constant, going up, slowing down, going up. So within, like, here's the concentrics, here's the eccentrics, there's phases within that phase. And I think that the centrifugal is specifically in that one phase, but it doesn't account for the letting him speed up, keeping him at the same speed, and then when I slow it down away from me through that. So within eccentrics, think about like the bench press, right? We're going to let it speed up. We're going to keep it at the same speed. Then I have to slow it down. That's what my brain sees as centrifugal contraction or centrifugal eccentric. So the whole eccentrics wouldn't be the centrifugal. It would just be when it's time to put on the brake. An analogy, because I know gas and brake are two different pedals. I used this one the other day in class where imagine you were coasting, you had momentum in your car and you were coasting and you put it in neutral. So you're rolling in neutral, then all of a sudden you put it in reverse. So the reverse is going to slow down motion one way and then speed you up back the other way, right? So it was one pedal that did two things. And so specifically that centrifugal is that the braking, the eccentrics where your muscle has to be winning, where it's muscle win, but game lose. Muscle win, game lose for centrifugal contraction. Tell me what you think. Sorry for the, like I said, I just kind of threw this together before my class. So sorry for the overlap. I know that Madsen's probably and you were probably, but the intent was still there to just try to see them. But I understand that I should have done them in two separate guys. But hopefully the point is still there. And let me know what you think. Hope all's well.